I've been thinking about this exact topic for quite a while. This video by Pineapple Man, who only has 339 subscribers, so I haven't watched it yet, but let's assume that it's good. If it is, give Pineapple Man some subs, because this is a question I have been wondering for quite a while. I may actually make a video about this topic as well. What I've noticed is that there's this whole universe of pop artists. For example, Carly Rae Jepsen, Rina Sawayama, Taylor Swift, Lorde, who for some reason are like worshipped by music nerds. Music nerds meaning the kind of people that hang out on Rate Your Music or Reddit, the kind of people that normally don't like pop. And for some reason, they've adopted this small subset of pop artists and they worship them, right? And it feels like this happened kind of suddenly. Like maybe 5 years ago, something like that. Just all of a sudden, the music nerds, and to be clear, I like Anthony Fantano. I am friends with him. He's a great guy. But the Fantano type people suddenly kind of just adopted all of them as like quote unquote real music. And they typically don't like any other pop. So this is a question that I have been trying to answer in my own mind for quite a while. So I want to see what Pineapple Man says to answer the question of why do music nerds love Carly Rae Jepsen? Let's find out. And really quick, before we go any further, have you checked out my Patreon? Patrons get early access to all my main channel videos and my podcasts. I also do giveaways sometimes. For example, I just gave away a pair of these Eargasm earplugs. And if you want me to review your music, there's a way to do that as well. All you gotta do is join at the $10 and up level. Then every month I do a call for submissions. If you want me to review something, all you gotta do is drop it in the comments of that post. Then I will review it live on Twitch and post it on Patreon for everyone to see. So if that sounds cool, hit the link in the description of this video, and I appreciate your support.
Think of music nerds. What music pops to your mind? Def Grips, Aphex Twin,
Yes.
Bloody Valentine.
Yes.
And if you're going to the more mainstream side, probably Radiohead.
Yes.
But what if I told you there was one artist that defied all music nerd stereotypes? An artist so unapologetically pop that even your K-pop obsessed auntie might make fun of you for listening to them. You saw the title on the thumbnail, you know who it is. Carly Rae Jepsen,
Right.
Queen of
Carly Rae
Renown.
Jepsen. See, look, here we go. For whoever in the chat said, I've literally never heard anyone talk about Carly. Here's examples from TikTok and wherever else. Pop heads, exactly. Pop heads on Reddit would be a perfect example of this. You can see, I'm not making this up. These people worship her.
Renowned, British Columbian, and of
She's from British Columbia? Is she? I didn't know that. Shout out to British Columbia. It is a great province.
course, pop artist. From an outside perspective, it might seem that Jepsen is another washed-up pop star. Her hit in the early 2010s, accompanied by a similarly successful album,
Yep.
which was then followed by another 80s-inspired one,
Yep.
which didn't do bad commercially per se, but compared to Kiss, and especially compared to the chokehold on the human race, that Call Me
Man,
Maybe.
Call Me Maybe, great song. One of the definitive songs of the 2010s. I'm kind of sick of it at this point because I've heard it so many goddamn times. And there's all these cringy early 2010s, viral videos of people singing along to it like this. I'm over it. I Really, Really, Really Like You is actually my favorite Carly Rae Jepsen song. Just what a sweet song. I like it. It was great. But then everything else after that, I was kind of lukewarm on. But it seems like that's the stuff that the music nerds loved. Let's see if he can explain that sort of turning of the tables. How the turntables.
It didn't do that well, and then silence for about 3 years until another album was released, which was then overshadowed by the premiere of the Game of Thrones finale, and now is planning to release an album the same day as Taylor Swift. But despite her lack of stardom in the current era and her god-awful release dates, Carly Rae Jepsen probably holds.
I mean, he's talking about her release dates, which, I mean, I get, releasing an album on the same day as Taylor Swift or Game of Thrones, probably not ideal, but that's not going to make or break it, right? Like if you have the songs and if you have the star power, put it this way, if, Doja Cat put out an album on the same day as Taylor Swift, it's not going to hurt Doja Cat's career. So I don't think it's as simple as that.
One of the most dedicated fan bases in all of pop. And you would know how hard that is if you have ever spent any time in pop Twitter. A fan base so dedicated
Pop Twitter.
that
Oof.
they have made their own tabletop RPGs, poems,
Whoa.
and even their own.
There's a Carly Rae Jepsen tabletop RPG. That tells you everything about the current fandom of this woman. The kind of people that play tabletop RPGs, the kind of people that make tabletop RPGs. That is the Carly Rae Jepsen fandom in 2022. And the question is, how do we get here?
Own festivals about her music. And all those things without having to be pushed by any label. All done by the fans. But these very dedicated fans aren't your
Obviously fake, but this man's shirt, public castration is a good idea. I would say that's up there with the iconic Paris Hilton stop being poor shirt. I want it.
normal pop fans. No, they are different. Smellier, older, whiter, and with more Y chromosomes than most pop fans. Of course, I'm talking about music nerds. A group known for its pretentiousness, lack of showers, and their distaste for everything pop. Well, at least in the past. Nowadays, the music nerd movement has become more accepting of more types of music, could then be more fond of trap and of course pop music. Now you see dudes in Death Grip shirts praising artists such as Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift, or Rina Sawayama.
Exactly. See, this is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. How did it happen is the question.
Definitely not the popular opinion in the pre-Cambrian age of pre-2016 internet. But the thing is, Carly Rae Jepsen was already a very liked artist among music nerds before he became cool to like pop. But why is that? Why is Carly Rae Jepsen, an unapologetically pop artist, who doesn't steer away from the pop formula, both lyrically and sound-wise, so popular among the music nerd community? Well, I have many theories.
Okay.
Theory number 1, the underdog. Despite making such great music, Carly Rae Jepsen is not really in the spotlight, or anywhere near it, at least anymore. Apart from people who are really into pop music or the aforementioned music nerds, most people haven't heard of her.
I think this underdog theory is definitely, I like the sound of this because these are the type of people that are always rooting for the underdog. These are the people who, the second something becomes popular, they don't like it anymore. So I think there's a lot to be said for this. The type of people, these are the type of people that if they watched sports, they would say that college football was better than the NFL, even though everybody knows that's a goddamn fucking lie. Everybody knows it. If you think college football is better than the NFL, just close your browser right now, throw your phone out the fucking window, you need to remove yourself from this planet with your incorrect opinions.
Tell me maybe. Which, considering how good post-Kiss music is, it's really a crime. And it's not just me who thinks this. It's a common sentiment among anybody who has listened to Emotion or anything that preceded it.
But see, I actually think Carly Rae Jepsen's music, so he's pointing out that she's not as popular as she used to be, but he's saying, well, that's a shame because her music is really good now. I actually disagree. I think her music is much more boring than it used to be. I think Lorde's music is much more boring than it used to be. I think Taylor Swift's music is much more boring than it used to be. So in my opinion, all of these artists got worse when they became accepted by music nerds, or should I say, when they became worse, that is when they got accepted by music nerds.
She deserves to be up there with the biggest pop stars in terms of popularity, but she isn't. And I think this image of pop underdog has made a lot of people attracted to Carly's music and made the already existing fans even more dedicated. As people are attracted to underdog stories more because they have a higher sense of connection to them, as they feel that their support is more influential in the success of said underdog.
I think that's right. For me, I like a winner. Whoever's number one right now, whoever's on top, I'm the biggest fan. When the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, I was the 12th man. I was cheering for Russell Wilson. And then when they lost, get out of here, you fucking bum. I've never heard of you. You fucking suck. I'm on Team Tom Brady now. That's me. I'm just that guy. I want to play for the winning team. You're only as good as your last game, you fucking loser. I think there's something to this. She also doesn't seem as intimidating as the other female pop artists. She seems like the cute, geeky girl next door, not like the cheer captain. I think that there's a lot to be said for that. These guys want to hump girls with bangs. I hope that that's one of his theories. Music nerds want to hump white girls with bangs. Think about it. Bangs are the common denominator here. Taylor Swift has bangs. Carly Rae Jepsen has bangs. Lorde probably has bangs now. It could be that. Nerds want to hump girls with bangs.
If you were in a conversation with both a Taylor Swift and a Carly Rae Jepsen fan, who would recommend the music of their beloved artist first?
I love the depiction of the Carly Rae Jepsen fan over here with his Death Grips shirt.
Who would recommend the music of their beloved artist first? The Swiftie or the Jepsener? Well, obviously the Jepsener, as a Swiftie already assumes that you know of Taylor Swift and her new music due to how popular she is. While the Jepsener probably thinks that you don't know anything about Carly's music after Call Me Maybe. So they don't see this as a conversation, but instead a battle, where the objective is not to kill an enemy or to capture a point, but instead to convert them into the CRJ cult.
I think that there's a lot to be said for this. These type of people really do see themselves as evangelists, you know, that it's their mission to make all the plebs in this god-awful world aware of their great taste in music by making the plebs appreciate obscure artists like Lorde and Carly Rae Jepsen. That's the part that I think is funny, is like, you know, that these people act like nobody's ever heard of Carly Rae Jepsen or Lorde. You know, it's kind of weird. Like, you don't think people know about Lorde? Really? My wife worked for Amazon for 6 years. Lorde played the Amazon Christmas party in 2018. That's where I saw her. That's your underground pop queen played the Amazon company Christmas party.
Theory number 2. Nerds just want to have fun.
Music nerds just want to have fun, okay.
Pop stars have been trying to distance themselves away from the cutesy teenage girl type aesthetics that were once associated with pop, with a lot of them adapting edgier personas.
I think this is true too. I think a lot of these dudes, mostly because they're mostly dudes, genuinely like the music. It just became socially acceptable for music nerds to openly do so over the last few years. I think that's sort of the point he's making here, is like, hey, music nerds want to listen to pop too, but of course they can't listen to just, you know, pop that's just pop. They have to listen to the sort of melancholy, boring, low energy version of pop, because you can't just fucking, you know, listen to Ariana Grande like everybody else.
And
yeah, C-tier mainstream artists, exactly.
Which have brought us some great music and also some not so great music. And a big reason why this pop shift has been happening is due to pop losing its #1 place as a genre of the youth, with it being awarded to rap, which is not bad. Nothing wrong with rap music, but what is terrible was the influx of pop stars trying to fit in the hip-hop wave by adapting a lot of their sounds and aesthetics of trap in order to seem hip and cool. And that doesn't only apply to the great trapification of 2017, but can also...
Yeah, there was the trapification of 2017. I personally didn't think that was a problem, but I agree.
Also be seen in the 2020s with the new wave of TikTok pop stars whose whole gimmick is just singing a lullaby for 2-year-olds, or changing some of the words for fuck, shit, and if they're feeling extra rebellious that day, maybe even a bitch.
So do the music nerds, do they not like TikTok pop? You know, if TikTok pop is like stuff like Gail and what's that other girl's name they just showed? I forget her name, but they always make fun of her on Pop Heads. Do the music nerds not like TikTok pop?
Everything dark, every lyric about depression, and every lullaby ruined. Sometimes people just want those old pop stars back, and Carly Rae Jepsen brings exactly that. Her music doesn't incorporate other genres, nor does it change to fit modern trends. This ironically makes her music age better.
It's very bland.
Such trends are someday going to die out. And in this modern internet age, someday is 6 months from now. For example, Taylor's Reputation, which came out a year later than Carly's
Kind of
Emotion.
a boring album.
Now, it is undeniable that Reputation sold way more and is thousands of times more commercially successful than Emotion. But in the year 2022,
Dark Brandon arises! You will tremble kneeling before your new overlord, Dark Brandon.
it's talked about more. And I don't mean which one gets googled more or which one gets more streams. I mean, which of these albums is still creating discussions? More specifically, positive discussions. I'm going to give you a hint. It's the one without Ed Sheeran and Future. Theory number 3. Music nerds Ryan Gosling.
Music nerds Ryan Gosling. Okay, let's see what this means. I'm hoping that this is the point where he says the music nerds want to hump white girls with bangs, because that is, I think that is a factor here. Let's see if he brings it up.
Unapologetically poppiness of Carly's music has made many music nerds pretend to like or exaggerate how much they like Carly's music due to its ironic value. Because it's something you wouldn't expect a music nerd to like. Oh dude, look at my Topster. I have Death Grips, Machine Girl, Radiohead, and also Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay, so what he's saying here is that, you know, some of these people like Carly Rae Jepsen because they want to show everybody how, you know, zany their music taste is, and that they like Death Grips and Carly Rae Jepsen.
It's not unexpected and goofy from a guy like me. Wait, why are you leaving? I haven't even shown you my Soviet movie collection yet. Carly Rae Jepsen for music
I
nerds,
like this guy.
What Ryan Gosling is for straight dudes. It's definitely a little unexpected for you as a straight man to like, but not enough for it to be considered gay. But I honestly think...
Yeah, see, now me, I'm not really a Ryan Gosling type of guy. I mean, I'd have to see his feet to say for sure, but my wife has pointed out that I'm more of a... you know, I like Mark Consuelos from Riverdale. Big fan of him. By the way, look at this motherfucker. He's like 52 years old. Look at this motherfucker. I'm more of a Mark Consuelos kind of guy, or Mario Lopez, also 49 years old, just sickeningly good looking. Just, I'm more into like older guys, a little bit of a darker complexion. That's what my wife has pointed out. Is he circumcised? That's a good question. That's a good question. I would bet that Ryan Gosling is circumcised. Yeah, so that does factor into the analysis. But anyway, let's get back to the video. I got distracted by Mark Consuelos and Mario Lopez.
This group of people who like Carly Rae Jepsen, ironically, is a very, very, very small portion of her music nerd fan base.
I agree with that.
I honestly think most people just like her because her music is good. Theory number 4, maybe her music is just good. I know this is going to sound crazy, but maybe people like Carly Rae Jepsen because her music is...
Yeah, but okay. I think if he's going to say that they like Carly Rae Jepsen just because her music is good, I think that is very incomplete analysis, because there are thousands of pop artists who make good music. Why is she and, you know, Rina Sawayama and, you know, the later Taylor Swift albums, why is there like just this small set of pop artists out of the thousands of pop artists that make good music? Why are there like 5 that these music nerds have adopted as their own? It's not just because the music is good, because there are thousands of pop artists making good music. It's got to be something else.
This may sound like a cheap cop-out to the video, as it says something that everybody already knows, while also undermining the whole point of the video. Why make a video about why music nerds like Carly Rae Jepsen if you're just gonna say, oh, it's because her music is good? And yeah, I do think the main reason why Carly Rae Jepsen has such a dedicated fan base is because her music is good, but that doesn't mean the other theories are not true.
I think it's not just the music. I do think her music is fine, but it's a specific flavor of good. She doesn't sound like Lana Del Rey exactly, but it's that sort of more like melancholy, you know, kind of mopey, indie-ish sort of sound of her newer stuff. Because it's not Call Me Maybe. That's not the song that they like, which is clearly her most popular song. It's the newer stuff that sounds actually has much weaker hooks that they like.
It made her fan base more dedicated. I do believe that her being so unapologetically pop in a landscape where most pop stars want to make everything but pop has contributed to her success, and that said poppiness has made people...
So part of the reason for her success is she's unapologetically pop. I don't actually think that's true, because she has sort of said many times that she doesn't want to be commercial and blah, blah, blah. So I think of someone like Ariana Grande or Meghan Trainor. Meghan Trainor would be a good example. Meghan Trainor is unapologetically pop. Like, it has never even crossed her mind that she should like ever feel bad about making the kind of music that she makes, or that there would be something wrong with it, or like it has never occurred to Meghan Trainor that like, oh, maybe I should try to do something more credible. Right? Like, she just doesn't give a fuck. I would say Carly Rae Jepsen is actually quite self-conscious. I don't know if apologetic is the right word, but she's very deliberately pop. So I don't actually think it's true to say that she's unapologetically pop.
People like her for ironic purposes. But at the end of the day, it's the music that makes people say. You could start listening to Carly Rae Jepsen ironically.
I think it's this. I Need Coffee 1994 is correct, and I'm going to steal your idea for this video. I'm going to steal your idea because I think this is correct. It's the Goldilocks effect. If you like underground stuff, you're a hipster, but if you like really popular stuff, you're a normie. She's right up the middle. I think that is, I think there's something there. I think that's a big part of it. These music nerd people are exactly that, because in reality, they don't actually have very adventurous taste in music. I mean, these people are not, for the most part, listening to fucking, you know, Guttural Secrete and Have a Hedge. You know, their idea of music that's like challenging is Radiohead, which is like the most bland fucking middle of the road, non-threatening, uninteresting version of like anything experimental that you can imagine, like Faith No More and Radiohead. Oh, wow. How crazy and experimental. Wow. You're so unpredictable. So I do think that these people sort of want to stay in that safe lane because they're not actually adventurous people. Exactly. They like ice cream because who doesn't? But they like rum and raisin because they don't want to be obvious. I think that's exactly right. Yes.
It's what drives people to make role-playing games and to write and edit 9th grade level essays about why the use of Death Grip shirts like her music.
Okay, well, shout out to Pineapple Man. That was a great video. I subscribe to his channel. I think you should too. I think he makes a lot of great points, but the one part that he left out, which I legitimately actually do think is a very important part of it, is think about who music nerds are. It's mostly like socially awkward, like white guys in their mid-20s with beards, you know, who look like the they're this person. Think about who these people are. It's this guy, the Bugman. This is the music nerd, is the Bugman. And think about what kind of girls this guy is into. He's into artsy white girls with bangs, right? Or in the case of Rina Sawayama, artsy Asian girls with bangs. And I do think that is a non-trivial part of this. However, I think he raises a lot of good points here. Good video. Make sure you show Pineapple Man some love. And listen, don't be one of these people. Be a true music appreciator that listens to Meghan Trainor and Ariana Grande. Don't play it safe and listen to Carly Rae Jepsen. Go full pop, or better yet, go full pop country. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. Go listen to some Dan and Shay. You won't regret it, I promise you. And more than anything, avoid girls with bangs. If you take anything away from this video, it's that.